Making college more affordable has been a hot topic over the past 12 months. Less students leads to less revenue, which could lead to staff cuts like at the University of Southern Maine. One of the goals of both Representatives Justin Chenette of Saco and Matthew Pouliot of Augusta is to make college more affordable. Guys, you know, yourselves weren't in college all that long ago, so you get this. Okay, so working across the aisle here, Democrat, Republican, tell me how you're working together to help kids out.
Sure. Well, this past fall, we had a college completion and affordability commission. We wrapped up our work in November and came up with 10 recommendations to present to the legislature. Those recommendations will be presented this Wednesday after a brief press conference at 12:30. And I think it's important for the people of Maine to know that the increase in the cost of college has grown exponentially over time. There's a lot of things that we're going to be working on. The legislature will have an opportunity to vote on these recommendations. They include things like open source textbooks to make textbooks more affordable, helping with increasing the Maine State Grant program, which I think Justin wants to talk about.
Yeah.
So looking forward to those.
Yeah, and this is an area that we can agree on. I mean, education isn't a DRR issue. This is something we can come together on. Our youth caucus is really behind this. The governor has put an increase in the Maine State Grant program, which is so critically important for low-income students. The governor didn't mention the word education in the State of the State, but we're really looking forward to working across the aisle to actually achieve some successes here. And there's a number of bills that we can talk about related to college affordability. And Speaker Eves has even come out and said college affordability has to be one of the top priorities this session.
Right, so let's break it down. Let's tell people why they should care about this. We're talking about grants up to $1,000. Hey, that could cover books for a semester for some kids.
But it's not enough. That has to be part of the equation. And there's a number of bills that get to this in addition to increase the Maine State Grant program, like the Opportunity Maine program. My bill to expand the Opportunity Maine program to students that their program may not exist at a Maine institution. Right now we're incentivizing those students to leave the state through the NEBI program.
Right.
So right now we're not incentivizing those same students to come back to the state of Maine. So an expansion of the Opportunity Maine program would do that in addition to the state grant program. So I think if we combined a lot of our efforts, I think it'll be really beneficial to helping to reduce the cost of college.
Jackie, a couple things that I want to say. We have to encourage responsible borrowing. You know, it's $1.2 trillion in student loan debt right now in the United States. That's more than consumer credit debt. It is growing at an exponential rate again, and we have to encourage responsible borrowing. One of the things that I'm putting in this session is a $40 million bond request. That would allow us to fund the Dirigo Student Loan Reduction Plan, which among other things will help with increasing the amount of counselors across the state to encourage responsible borrowing for students. It will also help students who have high private interest rate loans to refinance those loans into lower rates, making them more capable to buy a home maybe for the first time, or in some cases to go back to school. Some folks are not able to go to school or to go back to school because they're too caught up trying to pay off some student loan debt from before.
Yep,
so
of course.
A challenge.
Yeah, so what can people in college keep an ear out for right now? Like, they're hearing all of this stuff, and then they're like, well, how can you guys help me right now?
Sure.
Is it going to be a long process?
Foremost, for anybody who is currently enrolled in college or going to be enrolling in college, you have got to fill out the FAFSA. The Maine state deadline is May 1st, 2015.
Okay.
So it's very important, you know, currently to get that done. In order to qualify for the grants, you have to fill out the FAFSA. Right. Also, the Opportunity Maine tax credit program is so underutilized in this state. This provides a tax credit to students who attended college in Maine. Another thing that we're hoping to do with this bond is to fund that for students who went to school outside of the state of Maine.
I would like to say, Jackie, though, it's not just about the current programs that are in existence. We can do things that don't require legislation, like public-private partnerships. There's high schools in Maine, including in Saco, that we're saying, okay, look, let's partner with UNE to have 1 year of college out of the way before you even graduate high school. Some of these innovative programs don't take legislation. It takes talking with the colleges themselves and creating those partnerships with the community colleges, like the precision machining program down at YCCC and Pratt & Whitney. They're making that work at Thornton Academy. We can use that as a model across the state in conjunction with the grants, with the scholarships that students right now can apply for.
Yeah, and unfortunately that has to be the last word. But guys, thank you so much for coming in this morning.